Hello folks, Matt Griffin, the Smile Mentor, here again with another video with a patient turned friend. In our process of getting to work with some of our clients in the past, we had the privilege of doing a lot of testimonies of patients who are going through the process, either had been through or going through the process. In today's video, Al was one of those ones that we got on the very front end. I knew from the minute he walked in and got to hear some of the questions he was asking the doctor that I knew this was a guy we wanted to follow, because he is someone that that really, being an engineer, an airplane engineer for, I don't know, 30 years, something like that. Forgive me, Al, for not knowing the specifics on that, but a long time. And for him to be able to ask the questions he did, look at it so analytically and not emotionally, because we all know we have the emotions, right? Like, that part's a given with this process, but not everybody has the foresight to think unemotionally about it. And that's what Al really brought to the table. Great guy. I think you guys are going to hear in this video some of the questions he asked the doctor, the different clinics he visited in the process of his consultations and getting to know and doing his homework on why he settled where he settled, what the pain was like, eating, all some of the stuff to help you feel, whether you've already gone through this, going through this, or are currently looking into it. This will help you, A, feel you're not alone, and B, hear from someone else that really took the time and energy, and hopefully will get you further down the road. Yeah, you'll like Al. He's a good friend. So thank you guys. For those that are new to the Smile Mentor community, and why in the heck are we even talking about teeth? That's what this is all about. It's an All-On-4, All-On-X forum community to help educate those that don't know or looking into about the full mouth restoration, implants, all teeth on implants, basically. So, but for those of you that have been loyal followers, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Thank you, guys. Two guys sitting around a lake and a fountain talking about teeth. Does it get any better than this?
No, it really doesn't. We haven't won the lottery.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have any winning numbers I need to play tonight?
No, if I did, I wouldn't share them.
You don't want to split it, huh? You don't like me that much?
A percentage, we could work something out.
All right. Al, I appreciate you taking time. I know that you're busy, even though you're retired. You're highly involved in your community, and it's not like you sit around twiddling your thumbs. And so I appreciate you coming out and visiting with us. Really do.
Well, I appreciate you asking me, because I believe in the product. I believe in the dental team that did my implants, and it's been 2 years, and I just can't say enough.
Let's rewind the clock a little bit. Before you had, so you have also had your All-On-X, your All-On-4 done. Did you have your upper and lower? Was it top and bottom?
Top and bottom.
So before this, rewind the clock. Tell me about your experience with dentists in the past. Right?
Well, growing up, I had some weak teeth due to growing up on the Love Canal area of Niagara Falls, New York, and the impacts of that first hazmat site. So the teeth were weak, and had just a minor, the fillings and that throughout the childhood and the teens. And in the military, I had a 3-tooth bridge placed in front teeth due to a training accident, which happened the last 40 years. And fast forward, as I aged, the teeth started breaking down, and finally, after about 40 years, that front tooth bridge, the anchor teeth finally failed. So I went to my local dentist, and he put in a 6-tooth bridge at $8,000 out of pocket, and the anchor teeth failed in a couple of years. At that point, there's no longer return on investment on doing crowns and whatever, because you only have 30 teeth in your mouth, and when you're spending $1,000 plus for each crown or each implant, you might as well go the whole route. So I started researching. I live over in Greenville, Texas, which is 70 miles from the folks at Radiance Dentistry, where I actually had my work done, and looked at reviews, looked at referrals, and went and visited doctors, and chose the one I was most comfortable with.
How many doctors did you go look at before you had it done?
Four.
Four.
Okay. And the prices were all over the map.
Can you give me the range?
The range was, well, of course, your normal advertising competitor, Clear Choice, is up around $50K for upper and lower. My dentist in Greenville that handled me, he was going to do it for $44K, but those were acrylics only. They weren't the state-of-the-art material.
Yeah.
And that's what some people don't realize is you're getting screw-in dentures for $44. I went to another place that was $32, but I just really didn't feel comfortable with that experience. And when I visited the team in Radiance, it made me feel completely at ease. And then I talked to the finance team, and they said, well, let's look at your options. There's a cash option, there's a financing option. And we also, if you're not in a dire strait right now for emergency work, we can schedule you so part of it will roll on each year dental benefits, which was a savings in itself. So I ended up, because of the way I wanted to do things, I ended up 36 out the door, which is very reasonable.
Yeah.
That included the implants, the appliances, as many visits as I need to make sure the fitment was correct. And believe me, they got tired of seeing me. I'm sure the doc got tired of seeing me, because I'm going to say, just take a little bit off here, take a little bit off here.
Yeah.
And then he'd say, try it, let me know in a couple of weeks. And mine, because I was so picky because of my operational engineering airline background, the whole process took me to get a perfect fit about 11 months. But I've had these permanent arches in for about 16, 18 months now, and I have absolutely no problems, no hesitations on eating anything. I go back twice a year for my normal cleanings, and they tell me, okay, you've got a little bit up under here, do a little bit better with the water pick. But other than that, I have had no problems whatsoever.
One of the reasons we're doing this whole documentary educational series is I want to put the power back in the patient's hands. When you go in, most people, when they go into the dentist, especially for something like this, it's intimidating. They've had some bad experiences in the past. They've experienced some pain, so they're already anxious when they come in. So how do we level the playing field is really what I want to do, so that they go in more empowered, know the right questions to ask, and know what to expect. If you were going to coach somebody that is going to have this procedure done now that you've gone through it, what would be some key questions that, let's start off with let's start off with doing your homework. What are some recommendations you would give a patient that's looking to have this done on things they should do for the homework piece and things they should look for?
Well, honestly, I would look at each one of the candidates' websites to see how much information is there, the description of the product, the description of the procedures, what kind of frequently asked questions they have. That was one of the strong selling points that got me in the door, because as I said earlier, we're talking 70 miles for me to go to a dental visit. And after that, once you do your homework, and knowledge is king, you need to learn about the different types of materials, whether it be the acrylic or the zircon, or there's several others that are fading in and out of the popularity.
Right.
But warranty, These arches that I have a lifetime warranty as long as I go twice a year and get told how well I'm cleaning my teeth.
Right.
And if anything happens, I mean, I know they're available. I can get right in, and I haven't had a problem. Financing, once again, ask the questions before you go. What is the flexibility? What meets your personal needs?
Right.
Because there are some people that need to finance. And don't be afraid. You know, you get the normal reaction like, oh my God, I could buy a car for that. But when you think about your teeth in your mouth, if you just estimate $1,000 per tooth when they go bad, you're at the same price.
Yeah.
So the only question you have to solve in your mind is, you want to do it all up front, or do you want to piecemeal it and go through all the trauma every time?
Patchworking.
Patchwork.
Yeah.
And to me, after the years of dental work, and I've had crowns and bridges in there, when that 8-tooth or the 6-tooth bridge failed, I said, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will never have a cavity again.
Right.
And that's the truth of it.
What a
I will
heck of
never
a
have
feeling.
a cavity again. My dental insurance now, when you weigh the cost of what they pay for the every 6-month cleaning or the semi-annual cleaning, it is still cost effective to keep the dental insurance. So, versus what it would be to go in the door to pay for a cleaning on a cash basis. So it's a win-win. And even going through airports, being associated with the airline industry, going through the body scans and everything else, there's no issue with the dual arches.
Yeah.
I just let them know when I go in, I have dual, you know, and we're not talking the golden arches, you know. I've got upper and lower arches, and they go, oh, okay. So when it shows up on the body scan, they know what it is.
Yeah. Walk me through the surgical process. Any problems, any fear, any pain?
None. Surprisingly, and it was very surprising. The day of the surgery, you know, I got there early and they gave me a couple of pills to relax me, and quite honestly, I don't remember what they were. And I drifted off, and I woke up a few hours later with all the implants in my mouth and a set of temporary acrylic arches.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there were, you know, I felt nothing because of the anesthesia, but my wife drove me home. That night, I took one pain pill, and the next morning, I transitioned to acetaminophen, the Tylenol, and I had no more discomfort than I would having a filler, you know, and having Novocaine or whatever the afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I was really shocked at that. And even though I was on a restricted diet, drinking the liquids while everything healed, the pain was very minimal. And pleasingly, it was very minimal. And when I reflect back on things, I should have done all this 20 years ago. But the technology wasn't there 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's the one thing when I was interviewing with my mom, you know, that she said that I just regret I didn't do it sooner. And, you know, that's a great point, that where technology is today versus even 5 years ago, much less 10, 20 years ago, it really is a fun time to have this done. And, you know, I really wrestled being in my early 40s. I thought, am I too young to, but like you said, I had a 5-unit bridge break. And when you have that, you look in that mirror and that's broken, you're going, it's not too hard of a decision to make. And, you know, I had the previous dentist ground them down, the foundational teeth to nothing. So I had nothing to work with.
And then you always live with the fear, when are those anchor teeth or foundational teeth going to go bad?
Yeah, it's a great point.
And you're going to have to do it all over.
It's a great point.
And it gets to the point, I'm in my 60s, so it will get to a point in your life, if you're having a lot of teeth issues, that it's not if, it's when are you going to dentures or when are you going to implants. And if you decide to go to dentures and you've got that bulky plastic on the roof of the mouth and you're constantly using the Polygrip or whatever solutions, C-Bond, and so the choice is easy. Implants are the way to go. They are the future. And you can even reflect back to the days of radiokeratotomy before LASIK surgery. It was, the big spooky science, and then it became mainstream, and now LASIK, for $28.95, you can get your eyes done. And you have 20/20 vision for 10 years or so, and then with age, it starts deteriorating. With these will outlive me, certainly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What has been the biggest surprise throughout the entire journey? I don't care. Homework, anything, whatever it is, what has been the biggest surprise throughout this entire journey?
The biggest surprise I had was the lack of post-operative pain or complications, the ease of getting information. If I have a question, I just pick up the phone and call the team, and if I don't get an immediate answer, the doc or one of the techs will call me back in a very reasonable amount of time and say, here's your answer. And it's always, if you don't like what we're telling you, or you're not comfortable, or you're still having problems, when can you come in? So ease of access. Yeah, I couldn't have picked a better location, a better team, or like I said, a better product. I'm totally sold and thrilled with the choice I made.
If there's somebody watching out there that is doing homework for themselves, they're probably already going to gain that, okay, it's not as scary as it might seem. We already covered kind of cost. Talk about the time frame. What the healing process after you had it done, how hard was it for the next 4 to 6 months eat soft food? Was that challenging?
No, it was not challenging, and quite honestly, I ate the soft foods, the liquids for the first couple of weeks, and the very soft foods, and then being ex-military 100 years ago, where you had to learn to eat in 5 minutes, you learn to break off small pieces, and I was eating hamburger, I was eating solid foods. It was just using the care not to get the crumbles or any debris up into the healing gums. So I didn't have any difficulty whatsoever. The difficulty that I have now, that I'm totally healed and totally beyond any maintenance periods, is I'll eat anything.
Yeah.
And I'll chew anything. And about 40 pounds has said so.
Really?
Yes.
Since you had it done?
Since I've had it done, I probably, because everything tastes good, and I can chew, and I'm not having to say, well, wait, I'm not going to eat this. That steak may be a little too tough. It's like, let's see if I can break these things.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So that would be a caution to people out there, is you might put on some pounds. And I've actually heard that before, that because you're no longer worried, is this too stable? Can I actually, get away with it?
And with the arches, with the implants, you don't have the bulk of the appliance, of the dentures, to take away from the taste and the sensation. So everything, it's almost so natural that you don't know you have an appliance in your mouth. So everything just tastes good, it all feels right, and life goes on.
Tell me about the $32,000 dentist. We're gonna call him that. I don't need to know his name, don't need to know the practice, but tell me, you said something just wasn't right. Because I've met a lot of clinicians out there that I know what you mean, so tell me about that.
Well, it is a competitive market, let's be honest. Everybody's doing them now. And if people are shopping price, they may not be getting quality. The $32,000 was a chain. I won't mention the name.
Okay.
Everybody knows what the chains are.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Clear Choice, because they're not the $32,000.
Right.
But when you go in and say, how many implants have you done? Can you give me referrals? And they start stepping around the answers. You know, saying, well, HIPAA, I really can't get you. Do you have a list of people you could give my number and ask them to call me and tell me what they've been through? Yeah, no. So it's, if I want assembly line dentistry, I could have stayed in the military. And that's what you're getting at that price range, is the assembly line dentistry. So.
You know, since I had the surgery, I was surprised. You know, as you know, one of the best compliments I ever got from you was saying how much you liked the website and how informational, because that was kind of our baby. That was my brainchild that I got to do for this clinic. But I actually learned more. You know, it's different going through the process. So after I had it done, I didn't have to have a pain pill either. I was a little surprised at that. I had the, it all went really well. I mean, better than I thought it would. And I've been through it. So, I mean, they feel good. They feel too good sometimes. I have to remind myself, slow down there, Tiger. Mm-hmm.
And you went through the procedure very well, because, as you know, I may have told you or maybe not, I went in for a cleaning a week after your procedure, and I said, so how was the big baby? Did he get through it?
Really?
You got glowing reviews that you got through the procedure very well.
You know what's funny? I filmed the entire surgery, and when they hopped me up, there's some pretty funny scenes. I was ready for even more. I'm like, let's bring it on. Let's get drunk. Let's have fun. So, but yeah, it went well. I'm very glad I did it. And I really, you know, having gone through with my mom, my mother-in-law, having had all these testimonies and get to know all these new friends that have gone through this. And you're kind of the exception to the rule, because you don't have as much negative dental history, too many dentists that have hosed you. Most people have, including me. And so that's why I want to try, you know, I love what you said. And that's really where I want to go next on this piece of it before we wrap up. And that is, what are the questions to ask during the consultation? So you're in the consultation, you already brought up how many have you done? How many, not only implants, but arches, right? How many full restorative procedures have you done? Give me some referrals. Give my number, I don't mind, right?
Sure.
You know, give me some, what other questions would you ask the clinician, the team, that you would, you know, one of your best friends about to go through it, make sure you ask this.
Why is the implants the best route to go? What could be done to save my existing teeth? And see what the answers are. I mean, if it's a very quality dentist, he'll go tooth by tooth with you and say, we could save this, we could save this. Where they actually care about your dentistry and your teeth, instead of getting it done, doing the arches, going back to the assembly line dentistry, where there's a profit margin. I have kids to put through college, and I can make more by steering you to the implants than I can by saying, here's what's really in your mouth, and this is where you're going to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years. You know, you keep chewing ice, it might be 2 months from now. But so honesty and openness and attention to your exact condition.
It's a great point. You know, because implants are the best, you know, time value money for these doctors. They'll make the most money at it.
Sure.
If they're good at it. That's why we specialized in it. I knew it from a business perspective, going, time value money, why are these guys doing? And I hate root canals. I think those are a joke. They're just putting a Band-Aid and they will fail. And so that's a great point, though, where they will take time and go, look, here's your options, not just shove you towards what's most profitable, but what's most beneficial, and let you make the decision, not them make it for you.
That's right.
Al, I really, really do. I know I said it at the beginning, but thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. And my hope is that us spending this time together, not only enjoying it, but being able to hopefully bless and encourage somebody else out there that It's getting ready to go through this. It's not as scary if you go with the right person, and it can last a lifetime. Thank you, Al.
Thank you, man.